Long ago, in the heart of an old village nestled between tall baobab trees and endless fields of yam and cassava, there lived a woman named Nkemdili. Nkemdili was known far and wide for her pride. She walked through the village square with her head lifted high, her wrappers pressed neatly, her coral beads shining in the sun. Her neighbors whispered, "Ah, see how she carries herself." Like a queen without a throne, it was not that Nkemdili was rich. In truth, her hut was small, her farm struggled to yield, and her firewood pile often ran low. But what she had was pride as tall as the Iroko tree. She would rather go hungry than accept food from another, rather shiver in the Harmattan cold than wear a shawl gifted by a neighbor. She would often say, "Better to eat one grain in dignity than a basket in shame." One year the rains came late. The earth cracked beneath the villagers' feet, and their yams refused to swell. The river shrank until women fetching water could walk to its center without wetting their knees. The season of hunger arrived. Children's laughter turned to cries at night. The village square was quieter than ever. Even the drums of evening festivals were silenced, for who can dance on an empty stomach? Neighbors went to one another with calabashes of soup, with handfuls of maize, with raffia mats to share. The people survived because they leaned on one another, all except Nkemdili. When an elder woman came to her hut with palm oil and said, "Daughter, take this and eat. Tomorrow you can bring firewood to repay me." And Nkemdili stiffened her neck and replied, "No, Mama. My hands are strong. I will not stretch them out like a beggar's." When a young hunter brought her dried bush meat, saying, "Sister, I caught more than I need. Take this and cook," she shook her head, replying, "Keep it, hunter. My pot will boil when it pleases the gods." The villagers sighed. Some pitied her. Some laughed at her stubbornness. But hunger is a patient visitor. It always stays until it is noticed. One evening, Nkemdili sat in her hut, her stomach groaning louder than the night crickets. Her fire had gone cold. She had not eaten since the morning before. Then, knock, knock, knock. A sound at her door. She frowned. Who could it be at such an hour? When she opened the door, she saw a stranger, a tall man dressed in a simple white cloth, his face partly hidden in shadow. He carried no basket, no bag, and yet his presence filled the doorway like the Harmattan wind. In a calm voice, he said, "Woman of pride, I have come to share with you." And Nkemdili narrowed her eyes. "If you have come with pity, turn back. I have no need of it." But the stranger only smiled. "It is not pity I bring, it is choice. Open your heart or close it." He stretched out his hand, and in it appeared a small calabash, glowing faintly as though moonlight itself had been trapped inside. Days passed, and Nkemdili grew weaker. Her steps, hunger battled pride in Nkemdili's chest. Her lips trembled. She wanted to snatch the calabash, but her voice came sharp. "I do not take charity." The stranger's smile faded. His eyes glowed like embers. "Then I will knock again and again until you learn that pride cannot feed the stomach." He vanished into the night, Ekame heavy, her eyes hollow. The villagers whispered, "Pride will bury her before hunger does." On the third night, knock, knock, knock. Again, the sound at her door. The same stranger stood there, silent this time, the same glowing calabash in his hand. And Nkemdili's pride fought once more. She turned her head, biting her lip, but her tears betrayed her. Finally, with trembling hands, she reached forward. The moment her fingers touched the calabash, warmth spread through her body. the pot in her hut filled with steaming soup, the air thick with the aroma of spices. Her weakness melted away, replaced by strength. She ate, and for the first time in many moons, she was satisfied. But as she ate, the stranger spoke one last time. "Remember, woman, food fills the stomach, but humility fills the soul. You refused charity, yet charity itself came to knock. Tomorrow, you must be the one to knock at another's door." When Enkemdali looked up, the stranger was gone. From that day on, she was never the same. She began to walk through the village not with her nose in the air, but with her hands carrying food to the hungry, water to the thirsty, cloth to the cold. The villagers were astonished. They whispered, "Nkemdali is changed." The woman of pride now gives more than anyone else. And when the next season of hunger came, it was Nkemdali's hut that became the refuge of the needy. Moral of the story: pride builds walls, but humility opens doors. Even the strongest must sometimes lean on another, for no tree stands tall without the forest around it.